world's favorite comic book hero, followed by 84 million readers a year. Now, he comes alive. For the first time on the screen, you'll see it all. The spectacular adventures of the amazing Spider-Man.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Into the Vault. I'm your host, Mitchell, and with me today is...
Chris Mendez.
Welcome back, Chris.
Yeah.
So, to celebrate the release of Spider-Man Homecoming coming out next week, we're going to review the first ever live-action Spider-Man movie. And that, of course, is the 1977 Spider-Man, starring Nicholas Hammond. This is going to be amazing. So I'm going to break down the plot real fast because it's kind of crazy and I don't think many people know about this great gem of a movie.
I don't think anyone knows.
Probably no one knows. So we have Peter Parker. He's a graduate student and he's working on some radioactive material, and then he gets bitten by a radioactive spider and he gets the powers that we all know and love. He has his super strength, he has his wall-crawling ability, and he has his sixth sense that warns him of incoming danger, like his spider sense. So we're then introduced to the villain of the movie, or at least the villain's evil scheme, because we don't know who the villain is until about the third act, even though you kind of know, but they don't actually tell you it's him until the third act. But he proclaims that he has the ability to control people's minds, and unless he receives $50 million, he's going to have 10 random civilians kill themselves. And to prove that he actually has the power to control people's minds, he has highly respected people like doctors, lawyers, and judges rob banks all across New York. So while this is all happening, Peter meets a self-help guru, and this guy's name is Mr. Byron. And the way he tries to make people better and make people happy is a little condescending and, makes Peter a little bit suspicious. So Peter comes back, but this time as Spider-Man. And so once Spider-Man shows up, he is greeted by one of his most fearsome foes, and that, of course, are ninjas. Spider-Man is fighting ninjas in this movie, and that is not a joke. So Peter beats the ninjas, obviously, because they're ninjas. And then Peter decides he's going to go back to see Mr. Byron, but back as Peter Parker. But once he goes, he gets hypnotized because, surprise, Mr. Byron is the villain, and Peter becomes one of the 10 that are going to kill themselves. Peter manages to escape this mind control, however, and goes back to fight Mr. Byron as Spider-Man, destroys the mind-controlling device, and saves the day. Chris, how great was this movie?
Oh my gosh. Where do I begin? Obviously. Oh my god. This movie was... I don't want to be that guy who trashes a movie, like a movie from the past, just because, it doesn't live up to our ridiculously high standards of cinematography.
Oh yeah, this movie does not hold up well.
Not even close. Like, not even a little bit.
No.
It's not even, like, forget the plot, special effects, casting, character portrayal. Like, it's not even, apart from the suit and the names, it's not even Spider-Man in my opinion. And, like, let's just talk about the special effects for a second here. And again, like, I'm gonna try and be as, like, unbiased and open-minded as possible with this. But my god, the special effects, like, they were terrible.
What do you mean you did not like the web blanket that came out?
Oh my god. I'm going to get to that in a second. The first thing I want to start with is, obviously, this is back in the day where green screens were not really, they were
a work in progress.
Yes, that's exactly it. They were a work in progress. Like, and they had been for many years after. Like, there was one scene where he's crawling down a pole, but his hand isn't touching the pole as he's crawling down. Like, he's not even on the thing that he's supposed to be crawling on.
I will give them this, though. there was a few times where it did look believable. I like there was this,
Only
there
when they
was
would pan out,
yeah,
when it would pan
when it was
out, then
far
yeah.
away, I will admit you can still tell it's fake, but it looked like believable.
It is true that when the camera would pan out and you'd see the scale of Spidey in respect to what he was climbing, it did look a little bit more realistic. And I kind of actually did like when the camera cut into the first person mode.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen that in a Spider-Man movie since, unless I'm just not remembering it.
they did a bit in the Amazing Spider-Man, but it was for
Like half a
uh,
second when he sees himself in the reflection,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. So I did like the first person thing, but yeah, then just to go back to what you said before, the web
The web
imagery.
blanket.
Oh my gosh, how it just like flings out of his wrist like a mouse trap. You discovered it very late in the movie, and that's another hilarious scene altogether.
Yeah, they were. I think they were just they realized that they don't have a good thing going, and they're like, let's try not to use this as much as we can.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was.
But speaking of Peter, though, I I really liked the portrayal of Peter Parker in this movie. I thought
Yeah.
I thought Nicholas Hammond played a really good Peter Parker. And I loved the scene where when the mailman comes in and tries to give Peter a package, but it has a $46 COD on it.
Mhm.
And then for the rest of the movie, he's just trying to make $46 to pay off this package. And I thought it was so, like, that's so Peter. That's so Peter. And I thought it was amazing. His Peter Parker was perfect. The way he was talking to the police captain, who, by the way, was basically the J. Jonah Jameson of the movie. He was such a good Peter. And I'll give the movie props for that.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about this portrayal of Peter Parker is that it was really obvious to me that the animated series that aired in 1994, it was very obvious that there
Oh,
was some
yeah,
inspiration
I was
from
thinking I was
this
thinking the
Peter
exact
Parker.
same thing. The whole time I was watching, I was thinking this is 1994 animated Peter Parker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. So
yeah,
I can't complain about
yeah,
that.
exactly. It was perfect. On the other hand, though, when he puts the Spidey costume on,
It's abysmal.
oh, he is the worst Spidey ever. Like people, he was garbage. People complain about Toby. People complain about Garfield. Oh, this guy didn't even talk. This guy doesn't talk when he's Spidey.
Legitimately has like three lines
Oh,
as Spider-Man.
yeah, he has three lines when he's in the costume. He's the worst. And he's always like hunched over. He's like trying to like Scooby Doo his way through every scene.
Yeah, like he's trying to be inconspicuous, but he just looks like he robbed the local liquor store every time he's infiltrating something. It's hilarious.
I will say though, he had a really good scene when he's trying to catch the cab, and the
Mm,
cab driver's like, "What are you doing? I am not driving you." And he's like, "No, please, I'm not. I just came from a costume party." Like that, like I'll give them that. That was pretty funny.
but that scene again with Peter Parker just running in an alley, like in the wide open, running in an alley, trying to catch the nearest cab like a regular pedestrian. I was like, this is ridiculous. That's the thing with this movie. I enjoyed everything ironically. The fight sequences, I had to restrain myself from bursting out into
Oh, well,
laughter.
he fought ninjas.
Yeah.
Like you can't follow that up. So overall, what would you rate this, Chris? What's your opinion?
What's man, I think if you're gonna watch this movie, you have to really take a step out of your expectations of what a good movie is supposed to be. Because most of this, you're probably just gonna either enjoy ironically or not enjoy it at all. Like it did not age well. It's
Oh,
not a timeless
oh
classic.
yeah, no. Like you must really like Spidey to watch this. Like this isn't made for the faint heart. Like
Yeah.
this is a gemstone from its era. It sums up the 70s perfectly, and I enjoyed it really like almost ironically. I love Spidey, and and I watched this movie and I was thinking it can't be that bad. Yeah, it was it was pretty bad.
Yeah, I love Spider-Man just as much as the next fanatic, but this movie does him no justice.
Yeah.
It's almost like the developers didn't read up on Spider-Man before making the movie.
I will say though, the Peter Parker portrayal was amazing. Other than that,
That's literally it. There's
yeah,
literally the one thing in this film that they nailed.
yeah. So what would you rate this on 10?
Oh, I have to give this a rating.
Yeah, you got to.
I'm gonna give this movie a 4 on 10, and the only reason I didn't give it less is because I enjoyed it ironically.
Yeah, I mean, same here. I enjoyed it like super ironically. Like I was laughing at almost every scene because it was just too good.
It was
So
ridiculous.
yeah, and because of that, I'd maybe give it like 5 surprise ninjas out of 10. Like because like the ninjas on its own, I think I just gotta throw this last part in. There was ninjas using flamethrowers in this movie. That's
Oh my god, that
that's
did happen.
yep. That's all it needs to be said.
Oh
Uh,
my gosh.
anyways, guys, thanks for watching. This was Into the Vault. So if you like what you hear, like the video, maybe subscribe. Comment down below if you want to watch this atrocity of a movie. And if you agree or disagree with us, let us know. Also, you can like us on Facebook now, facebook.com/yourmindon. And that's it for now. Peace.
Peace.